Well done, everyone. Welcome to a brand new video. This time I'll be explaining to the reason behind why I got so the unconventional narrative. This is a series of videos where I would want to closely analyze video games like Genshin Impact, the phenomenon it caused to the video game industry and how it impacted the industry. I don't want to use the impact, but I'll use it. Say that now. Would you like it? But yes, so back to my point is a bit history, of course, 28th September was the glorious day the game was released globally and it became a smash hit less than 24 hours and there's so many game components to it. The vibrant open world landscape, the level designs are well done. I think the levels to an extent are well done. The tempos are well done. Everything is well done. But I wouldn't say it's a complete game yet because there's so many updates coming yet. So what I want to address is the fandom of white knighters who want to pretend this is a finished game and it's a game better than God of War or Final Fantasy VII Remake or yada 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 or Dynasty Warriors. Yeah, so I want to go back to the point that this game, even though it's new, it still has to be viewed from a critical lens. It can't, please, white lighters, please don't shut down my video just for this. Please just listen to me for 1 second before you go on the dislike bar and rant about how I'm portraying the game in a negative light. Also, you free-to-play players, please don't hack me because I'm not a troll. And also, please, respect my opinion. This is my opinion and my analytical mind. I'm called a critic, So, first, the game requires a lot of challenges to be met. You know what challenge it has to be met? Oh, it requires quite a lot of challenge. Yeah, well, I'm being sarcastic. The only challenge is when you fight Storm Terror in the second and third battles. The first battle is just a meager prologue. And it's interesting to give you choices in this, but in both battles. But other than that, outside both battles, the cutscenes you can't skip. You can't replay the cutscenes either. So if you went past, oh dear, there's no gallery yet. So hopefully in update 1.2, there's a gallery for the players, and a gallery where the players can view and share and post about what they liked about, or screenshot, or have a camera taking picture of the magnificent level design, the level world. Yeah, that's aesthetics based, icing on the cake thing. But games like Kingdom Hearts RPG had a selfie mode or selfie, and do something creative with it. Just MiHoyo do something creative with it. It's just to attract more female players or more casuals, basically more money. But other than that, let's talk about straight into the gameplay. The gameplay consists you of doing fetch quests like food delivery and doing trash collecting. Basically, going into chests and getting goodies from chests. But you're going into chests and getting chest upon chest upon chest. Oh, this is a bit frustrating. So you're going around collecting chests of abandonware, basically. That's how they make you explore the open world. That's not a really good design now because this was good back in 2012 and 2013. But consider our age, we're into the 2021 now. So we need to pioneer a new set of open world style that can allow us to be emergent, to be like this emerging gameplay, emerging narrative that can emerge from the game mechanics, from the level design. The stories can be told through the level design, like how BioShock did it. I think Genshin Impact totally can. They could have implemented level design, open world level based storytelling. Please go watch the criticism by Ian Dungan and Ian Broadwast and Ian Borgast on Bioshock Infinite problem, and Tom Holland. No, the Jesper Jewell had a essay in Games Academia talking about how the ludonarrative dissonance, which breaks the immersion of the players in Bioshock Infinite with the tapes and everything. So tapes is like collecting open world. In this case, in Genshin Impact, it's going to collect objects and artifacts. That's a problem with that. When you get to later on the level, even halfway through the level, it becomes boring and repetitive. There need to be something else to click for the players to last longer, because by now, I think most of players have quit Genshin Impact to just play Cyberpunk 2077. So MiHoyo, you need to think of a way how to attract more players back into the game some way. I shouldn't worry too much about that. But some suggestions with next point I want to make is the combat system. As of now, the combat system is better than most gacha games out there and low tier ARPG games. But I'd like to detract from the mainstream opinion that the gameplay wise is dynamic and fun. I'd like to detract from that. I think the gameplay is alright. It's okay. But for an open world game, it still needs it needs something to keep us going, some kind of like sense of mastery, some kind of like this like rewarding dopamine, something to give to reward the players for unlocking a hidden move. The characters need more of a hidden moveset rather than just button mash, left click mouse and right click to do the power attack. I do think you guys need MiHoyo's game developers, if they see and hear my criticism video, they should check out how to make, like GDC, how to make a long-lasting combat mechanic, like other than just straight up charge attack, heavy attack, battle attack, or before I just squish you. Yeah, so we just need button attack. We need something to keep things going, because we need something that makes sense to juggle better. But technically you can dash forward, dash back, and dash run in order to cancel your attack and start juggling again. The problem with it is that there's no dedicated juggle specific moveset for the players, like an uppercut. The only character that has this uppercut, like you see in the gameplay right now, is that you saw for the past few minutes in the background, is Jin. She only has her power attack, right click power attack is launcher attack, which uppercuts all the enemies up to a level. Even her special attack is an uppercut, which keeps the enemy up there and you can attack and juggle all you like. My problem with this is that I'm a heavily critical guy. Even with great games like God of War, I criticize them. Like I criticize the game for its lack of traverse. The levels feel so linear, and also the enemies are so brain dead in God of War. And as well, the axe sometimes gets stuck in walls and doesn't come back to Kratos. I've deviated from what Genshin Impact is, but I made a comparison. I'm critical of any game, even if they're best in people's eyes. So, more in all, this game requires a revamp of its power attack and normal attack system. There should be a much easier normal oriented attack and switches to charge attack. So normal attacks leads up to the charge attack. I'd rather have a game have the hack and slash mechanic have the normal attacks lead up to the charge attacks. So it makes the game feel more dynamic and you can skip the animations and you can dash. Yeah, there's many end of user time and end game and mid game improvements to the game. But I'd like to add at the beginning of the game, I'd rather have at the beginning of the game a bit more nuance. As in, the player can skipping cutscenes, and they don't have to read all the. There's another thing about Japanese and Chinese games is that when the prologue starts, there's a lot of reading. There's too much reading, to honestly. There's too much tutorial for what explaining their mechanics are. Some players just want to get into the heat of the action role-playing game and explore the open world. They'd rather discover the game mechanics themselves, linked to the sense of mastery, as opposed to the game degeneration mechanics of just telling the players what you can do, what you can't do. Because then, what's the point of having a video game for people to explore and discover and lose time in if you can't even skip past the compulsory reading bits? Like, especially on mobile, those apps are so big, the compulsory reading bits covers the entire screen. So they need to fix that up for mobile. But on PC, they have to fix up to be less intrusive with the game mechanics explanation. Yes, that's exactly what I meant. So I think if they're adding charge attack and alternative Q ultimate attack, in addition, they should add in a second wave counter system for characters who have Barbara as a backup to revive the players. So when the players are revived on the constellation level that Barbara has unlocked, the players can do a striking sweet counterattack that stuns the enemy who killed them with a sharp strike or a storm rush in order to keep the enemies at bay who are crowding and trying to kill you again if you got revived. And that gives the players a bit more motivated initiative in order to say, hello, I can give this enemy a try again without restarting the challenge or the boss fight again. This way, the players will be in the flow theory, inside the flow zone of the gameplay for longer. Second, I'd rather have, people will hate me for this, but faster baseline Q ultimate element recharge rates should be buffed. The baseline ultimate attack for all characters in the queues should be buffed up to attribute the recharge rate, so the character has more of a fight. If they're being overwhelmed, they can still use the Q when it's baseline charged. And have a system where if your health is low, the Q recharge rate of your ultimate attack will be increased by twofold or something like that, by a percentage RNG based role, if it's possible. In addition, if they could make the flying mechanic of those jumping normal attack to attack the ground, make it more. That's not even charge attack, by the way. Some people ask me, well, technically there's 3 charge attacks because in the base character you have the flying mode, your jumping mode, that you can attack normal attack and you hit the ground, and you stun enemies and you get combos and juggle them. But they say I'm bad at game because I haven't practiced. Well, first of all, this is a casual game, casual friendly game. This is not Dynasty Warriors, where juggling is supposed to be difficult. This game should be juggle friendly. Like Soul Calibur 6, for example, is juggle friendly. I like to use Xianghua to juggle. I'm an actual player, by the way. I know, and I studied game design. I don't want to be arrogant, but this knowledge I learned is from game design. This lens, which I'm talking about, is also agreed by other game academics like Lars Kasnak and Jesse Schneal, who's the author behind the book, The Art of Game Design, Book of Lenses, which I got a lot of inspiration from doing this video. Games design wise, I do think the combat system need to drastically improve in order to get people back. So 6 charge attacks, at least 6 charge attacks, 5 normal attacks. These are unlocked through level progression, not through constellation. So when you get to level 60 or level 80 on your characters, you unlock all of the movesets. So it becomes the unlockable moveset. But then for some characters like 5-star characters, the rare characters, you could have hidden movesets for hardcore enthusiasts who want to give them money, share a lot of their gambling money over to gacha system in order to get the 5-star characters. Then it will be satisfying to play because there's hidden movesets within the 5-star premium characters. For example, Dailuk. For example, Zhou. I think Zhou needs a buff after the situation with the controversy with him doing like food delivery from heaven. Yeah. His moveset I played in the trial, as you can see, is pretty underwhelming. It's good, but it's underwhelming. It was supposed to be really good. It was teased to be the best moveset spear character out there, but no. Oh, this is amazing. Why are you doing this? Henry, stop criticizing. I'm Mickey Mouse. Stop it. You're going to get Disney to me. Oh, Mickey Mouse, why did you come here? There's no point of you arguing with me, even though I have already divorced Disney. I do think Genshin Impact is the crown jewel in a lot of free-to-play games, but at the same time, it has one of the most outrageous economic gacha system ever in order to progress. And Mickey Mouse, you should love this game because it's so gambling friendly, you should have got the money. But never mind, magic wise, the magic torch from Mickey Mouse Disney, Walt Disney Studios, had been handed over to MiHoyo's Genshin Impact game. So MiHoyo has officially held the Disney torch. You can disagree with me all you want, but this game needs seriously overhaul and changes right now. Especially the characters like Mona. Her baseline attack damage is 40% buff on her Q. Even though when she was advertised, her Q, her ultimate ability, elemental water attack, tidal wave, can buff up everyone in her team. So everyone get a 40% damage buff, but 40% output damage buff. But then they changed it, so they say when people bought the character and tested out, she couldn't buff everyone. So people reported her as a bug to MiHoyo, and guess what MiHoyo did? MiHoyo decided to say it's a mistranslation, so they immediately locked off the advertisement video for Mona, and they decided rewrite her and make her into a second-rate 4-star character when she's 5-star. She's a 5-star character who is 4-star now because she's didn't do exactly that. So they didn't want to bug fix her. So they didn't want to fix her ability. They decided to just change the details and gave a compensation of just under 160 gems, which is 100 gems. Primo gems to everyone. 100 Primo gems, which is not even enough to buy one gacha roll. You can farm in the game, but it has one of the worst economy system ever. It makes me depressed knowing this game looks so beautiful, yet it has one of the most predatory lootbox gacha system I've ever seen. Thank you guys for listening, and please like and subscribe. And I will be talking about the lesson now before we go. The lesson about this is Aleister Crowley's symbols. The stars that represent when you're full in a game, your star, you're not an Archon, but you're a Traveler, you're Ezreal Lumin, or you're the Lingui or the Traveler funeral parlor guy, who's the underwhelming Zhou character, who is basically really badly movesets, right? And And he really doesn't contribute much to the story, except the cutscenes where you see this awesome animation of him fighting Child, the Sumerian chosen one, was a water dweller. This is another problem, guys. I don't want to strap on, but the reason why it's related to Aleister Crowley is the rule. Have you heard of the rule set? Do what thou shalt wilt. Do thou shalt wilt, basically. Do thou shalt wilt means do thou shalt wilt will be utmost of the law. Do thou shalt wilt will be the law where you can do whatever you want but don't hurt anyone. And that's a really disgusting law because there's no ethics, no morality, and it's very subjective. And what you consider romance can be lust, what you consider to be fun can be evil. Sin can be fun as well. So, I don't want to sound like a religious prick, but Aleister Crowley's dilemma religion is based on that law he proposed, and this game drowns in it, basically. The game drowns the players in it. Basically, you can do whatever the hell you want. Whatever the fuck you want, because it said to you. Even the friend who I talked to, who says that you can do whatever fuck you want, like gacha and what yeah, just, people can spend the drug if they like to. People can spend the drugs on the gacha loot box even though it's destroying themselves from inside psychologically. And physically, and mentally, and wealthily. And shocking to me, right? The drop rate is 0.6%, but in addition, everyone, I'm not quite trying to be a jokester here. In addition, this game is very frustrating to play because every time you start a gameplay and try to play, it reminds you about the elemental reaction system again. And it happens after you kill 3 or 4 minions, and it just reminds you when the elements come up, even though you already used the element and started say, you already know, it's basically the game treating you like a little child. It shouldn't be that case. Treat the players like how they would be treated. That's how the game designer should have done. But in addition, so you were born as stars. All the characters like Eder and Lumin are born as stars in the gameplay. And in the narrative, you have to fight Storm Terror, which is the Grey Beast. And the Grey Beast could be Aleister Crowley himself, so you challenge Aleister Crowley. Storm Terror is Aleister Crowley in this case. And I'll argue is because Storm Terror says he supplies the stars. So without the stars, he don't have a decent challenge. Storm Terror wants to fight because he is like Lu Bu of Genshin Impact, and he's trapped, even though Venti supports him for some reason. And I don't have Venti yet, but I don't know his story yet, so I can't tell. Yeah, that's another thing. You don't know the story unless you unlock the characters. What the hell? And in addition, about the stars, Aleister Crowley in his Dilemma religions, humans are stars. Boys and girls are stars. Men and women are stars that are descended from whatever other world, asteroid and heaven or etc. That they fell down from heaven or etc. He is strongly against organized religion, but at the same time, Aleister Crowley is a person you should be afraid of. He is really unpredictable, and he says, "Last for me, everyone have to promote and perform sex magic, even in games, even in magical girls." So this is the problem. Stars, everyone is a star. Then who can be everyone? So everyone can be God, and everyone be a star. So if everyone is a star, then who is not a star? That's the problem. What's the challenge of the story? And Aleister Crowley is a controversial figure, adding like praising Aleister Crowley is the worst thing you can do in the West. Worst thing you can do before you get your skull there. Aleister Crowley did some most shady shit ever. Torture animals. destroying children's lives, performing human sacrifice, and writing in his book, magical book. Before I get demonetized, I don't care. YouTube just ban this video if you want. But I want to get across that I do like Genshin Impact's potential and premise, but the game company MiHoyo is trying to squander all that potential with the religious symbolism of Thelema, the most controversial Gnostic religions of them all. Think about it, guys. Thank you for listening, and please don't be a star in this game, because to be a star, you'll be controlled by Storm Terror. Thank you, guys.